Start streaming. No, I'm... Hello, everybody! We're back! We're back with another stream! We're gonna try this again. Let me get over here because the Warhammer stream is about to begin. That was crazy! We lost internet. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, it was bonkers. Thankfully, Chaos Cultist got it all, like, worked out for me. He is amazing, and this is why I love him so much. Well, there's lots of reasons I love him so much, but this is why he is the absolute bloody best. Please, everybody, shout him out in chat, in the comments, for helping me get this fixed, because without him, I would not be here doing this live stream with you guys right now. So hello, thank you to Chaos Cultist. Thank you to him so much. In the chat, please, everybody say that once we get live and get going, and I hope you guys are having a good day, because it's been a wild morning for me. Holy Jesus, like, what the heck? It cannot handle, the internet, Comcast cannot handle the Warhammer preview and the potential that is the reveal of an Old World starter set today. Genuinely, I do genuinely just, I have to say a humongous thank you to the Chaos Cultist, my dearest partner, for helping me get this stream set back up, because I woke him up out of bed. It is like almost 6 in the morning. I like rushed in there and was like, hey, I've lost internet. I don't know what to do. Please help. And like woke him up. So just know that I appreciate him so much. You guys should also appreciate him so much. And I feel really horrible about waking him up and starting his day this way. But I'm also extremely excited for what we're going to get revealed to us at this preview. It's gonna be, I think, a pretty big one. Like, there's only 4 things they're talking about. There's only 4 things that they're talking about, and I just absolutely am hoping that we get to see some really cool stuff. Chaos Cultist is the best tech priest. Oh my god, you're right! I must have corrupted him from the Mechanicus. That's not true, because he's definitely like a Blood Angel or Eldar player first, but I love it. I love it. He is my most amazing tech priest. Ugh, he's so good. Now that I'm actually able to be live and things aren't breaking, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know why my internet decided to crap out majestically as soon as I got started. It was so annoying. We're gonna say hi to Instagram real quick and let people know that we're actually live. All right. Let's switch us this way. You guys are also in screen. Let's do this. All right, good. That's a perfect face. It's a great O face. I just want you all to see my beautiful face. I mean, you'll see it if you go to Instagram. Let's talk about how we're live. I need the link to this, which is going to be a new one because fuck, yeah, god damn it. Okay. Okay, hold on, let me go to the let me do the thing. Let me do the thing. Share this video. What? No. Am I live? Can I not share? Am I? Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm in the wrong app. My bad. Good morning, Unpainted Lead Syndrome. Welcome. I need to get, you're right, Michael. I do need to get him a t-shirt with Tech Priest on it. Oh my god, you're right. I do. Shit, that's such a good idea. That is such a good idea. Now, I'm on the right stream, right? I just want to make sure. Yeah, Warhammer Day 2023 online preview. This looks correct. This does look correct. I just don't think they've started yet. Do I have? Alright, do you have music from them? Okay, we bumped them up. Let me know how it sounds for you guys. How, like, they're doing. Hello, Mike. Welcome. Yes, thank you, everybody. Definitely thank the Chaos Cultist, because he's the reason we're live. He's the reason that we are even having this happen right now. Why am I not seeing my current stream? Hello!
Welcome to
We're
the
beginning.
Warhammer Day preview online. My name's Lewis, and I'm joined by Eddie. And today we've got some super exciting news for you.
Sorry, I had my phone sound on, didn't realize it.
Here's Warhammer Day.
Well, pleasure to be here, Lewis. So Warhammer Day is a celebration we have every year just to celebrate all of our favourite things about Warhammer, and we usually find something about that's going on in Warhammer to kind of be the theme of it. And this year we're celebrating 40
Let me
years.
know how they sound
40
versus
years,
how I sound. I just
this
bumped
year
them up a
since
little
the
bit
very
because I know
first
they're
edition
always
of
super
Warhammer came out
soft.
into the world. We've been
So
playing
let me know how it's
dice and
going.
miniatures and painting up our armies for 40 years. So a
40
great theme for
years!
celebration.
That is awesome.
And this year for Warhammer Day, we are also having a live preview, which means we get to show you guys at home some of the cool, exciting releases we've got coming up over the next few weeks and months.
Brilliant. So happy Warhammer Day to you, Eddie.
A very happy Warhammer Day to you as well.
Have you got any Warhammer Day themed plans going
Alright,
today?
there's
Are you
my
baking
link.
a Warhammer Day themed cake?
I wasn't going to, but now that you've mentioned it, that sounds pretty good actually. I was planning on sitting here for about an hour or so with
apart from
you
this amazing
and
preview,
talking
yeah.
about some cool new stuff that was coming out. That was the main gist of my day.
Yeah, of course. And a happy...
Yourself? Are you
Am
doing
I-
anything?
well,
All
I'm
right, there we go.
celebrating-
The link is
I'm
up.
celebrating, yes. I've got a combat patrol.
They
in my
sound
game.
soft.
So
Okay, let me
built
bump
it.
them a little
I
bit.
need to get painting now, so maybe some of that today.
That's cool. What about you
well
guys
as
at
it's
home as well? Do let us know if you're doing any Warhammer Day themed things. Are you
Does that
playing some
sound
games
better?
today and painting some miniatures, going down to your local gaming store, independent store to play some games of Warhammer? Do let us know.
Yeah, and where you're joining us from as well, like people from all over the world watching
Also,
these
we don't need their
previews,
chat.
So where you're joining us from in the world as well. Let's check it out, see what. where
Is it
some
still
people-
slightly
That's
soft,
one of my
or
favourite
do
things
I
about
need
these
it, or are they
previews
good
is,
now?
Yeah,
whenever we
yeah,
have to
mine
go-
too.
where
Better?
they're
Okay,
checking
good.
them
Thank
from,
you, guys.
We get hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people letting us know, just flying past with the places.
So Japan, Australia, New Zealand. It's amazing. Netherlands, Texas, Germany.
Exotic Nottingham, I saw there.
Exotic
Fly past.
Nottingham.
Good,
Oh, yeah,
excellent.
got a little bit of
Yay! All right. So while they
Well, thank
waffle
you ever so
and
much
figure
for
out where
all of you
everybody
joining in
is,
wherever you are in the world. It's a pleasure to have
what
you.
are we looking forward to
Special
seeing
thank you
today?
for those of you who are
Personally,
staying up very late
I am
or,
looking forward
waking up
to
very
whatever
early.
it is we're getting
I think
Old
I saw
World.
some,
That's my main
Californians
objective
fly
here.
by,
That is what I am
it's
here for
very early in the
predominantly.
morning,
I want
for
to see
that
what we're
half of
getting.
the
But I'm
United States
curious,
at the
are you
moment.
guys more excited
Eddie,
for the
what have you
Warhammer
got in
40k
store
stuff,
today? What are we gonna
which
be
could
taking a look
be
at today?
new
Sure.
codexes,
So,
new miniatures
what we
for
tried to
other
do
factions
this
outside of
Warhammer Day is
Mids
give you a
and
little
Space
bit
Marines?
of quite a few different systems.
Are you looking forward to
So
the Age of
obviously
Sigmar?
we've got
Kill
some
Team,
Warhammer
maybe?
40,000,
Tell me.
as well as some Kill Team, and we've got some Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So our kind of big two settings. We've got some cool, juicy stuff on the way, and we can talk to you about that. And then I think one thing that we're very excited to show today is a few more things for the Old World.
Yes!
So lots of people have been very excited.
Oh my
about,
god, a lost on a damn
the
codex would be
return to the world that
amazing.
was the Old World, the kind of land that started it all, which was the
I'm
setting
really
of the
looking forward to the
original,
Old World stuff. Like, I
Warhammer
think it's just going to
40
be
years ago today.
epic.
So swords and
Like, I hope-
sorcery and magic
please.
and dragons and
can't wait.
all that good stuff.
Chaos
and,
Cultist in his news coverage
units
talked about how there
smashing into
might
each
be,
other, which
there's
is where I
rumors been
started
floating
playing Warhammer
around
as well. That was my
that we'd
first
be
game.
getting
Not
a
40 years ago, I was
reveal of the starter set. for
It's
the
also
Old
not just myself
World
and Eddie
release.
here today as well.
And if
We've
that
got
is
Motley
actually
moderating
true, if
the
his
chat for us,
rumor,
keeping you all in
like,
line,
mill
making sure
theories
you're all,
are
staying
correct,
safe. And,
I'm going to give
we're
him
joined in
such
the
the
studio
biggest
by our
hug because
wonderful
I
producer,
am
Raph, who's
ready
pushing the
for it.
buttons,
I'm
making it all
so
happen.
ready
He's really important because otherwise we're
for
just sitting
that
here in the
reveal.
dark.
Yeah, we don't get to see any of the cool stuff that we're going to be showing today. So, so without further ado,
Yeah,
We're getting started.
shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
do it. Let's do it. Necrons. All right. Ooh. A new lord. Oh! Okay, so they're giving us a new Emotech miniature. That's cool. And Necrons are one of the first
yes.
codexes coming out
So the
next.
seasoned strategist, the mighty
Cool.
Necron overlord, Emotech,
Emotech!
the Stormlord. So some of you might remember the classic and long-serving resin miniature. It's now
That's
available in
really cool. I
plastic,
actually
so
think we
great
have the
plastic
resin
refresh of
miniature.
this. Emotech's
I
beef
do
with the
actually
Black
think we
Templars.
have the resin
Yeah, he's
miniature.
got
This
beef
is
with a lot of
really
people,
cool,
so,
actually. We'll have to
as you
get
say,
this for the
is
Chaos Cultist army.
a new plastic
Because he
version
runs
of a classic,
Necrons. He hasn't
character
run them in a
being
little
born.
bit, but
he
does
has,
run Necrons, and I
fought
think
against
he's
most
used
of the
this
races of the
character.
galaxy. He's
So
one of the very
I'm
first
excited
Necron,
for this. He looks
overlords, one of the very
good.
first, Pharaons
I
to
like
kind of
the
wake up
hand.
from the long slumber of the Necrons, the eons asleep, where they ready to retake the
With his
galaxy.
4
And because he was
fingers.
kind of first awake, he decided to kind of claim quite a lot of the Necron Empire for himself. So he was like, right, I'm up first. I'm in charge.
Also,
here.
I really love
some of
the
the
way
early
they
battles the
painted
Imperium had against the Necrons,
the
things like
cape.
Sanctuary 101.
It looks super good.
It's kind of the very first contact battles they had against them. This guy was the mastermind behind some of those battles. Since then, he specifically had fights against the Black Templars, as you say. He's squared off against Helbrecht a couple of times, and those fights have gone both ways. But
That's pretty cool.
there's particular enmity between those two. But his main rival really is the Silent King himself, who's the kind of self-proclaimed ruler of the Necrons. So Imhotep woke up first. He thought maybe he'd be able to kind of secure his grip on the Necron Empire, and then the Silent King has returned.
Okay,
and
one
said,
thing I will actually
this is my birthright. I'm in charge.
mildly call
So
out, if
Imhotep's maybe not too
Imhotep
pleased
woke
about
up
that,
first,
so
why
there's
didn't you guys
definite,
give us his model first?
Politicking
Like
going
when you
on
did the
within Necron
re-release of all the
those two
Necrons,
not fans
why
of
wasn't he
those
one of the
models.
first
And what's
models
some
that
of
you
his
redid as like a
weapon loadouts
lord?
here that
If he woke up
he's got?
first, if that's like
Yeah,
canonically your lord.
Imhotep is a solid all-round character. So
He is
he's
really
pretty good with
awesome
combat.
looking,
He's got
isn't
his
he?
kind
I
of
love the
hefty war
scarabs
side
on the
there.
cloak
He's also
too.
got
Like I didn't
gaunt
call those out
fire,
before,
basically, so he's
but
got
there's like
inbuilt
4 tiny little
heavy flamer in
scarabs
his
on
hand.
his cloak, and it's
Flame in his
fantastic.
hands.
And he's also a very good strategist as well, so he gives you a few extra kind of
Ooh,
command
Edgar,
points.
do it! Run the Silent King and him
he's a
together.
very
That'd be
good all-round
amazing.
leader for your army. So if you're looking
That'd
for
be so
someone,
good.
Maybe not quite the level of the Silent King, but you want like a really solid all-round.
Oh yeah,
commander
yeah, Michael.
to-
I think
to
that's the whole
things like
point.
Space Marine
I am
captains
like
and
literally
stuff like that.
convinced
He's a
that
solid
Emotech
pitch
is
leader of the
based
army.
off of
And in the
Emotep,
Codex as well,
which is
the
the
new edition.
a real
Yeah, absolutely.
person
So we knew
in
the Necrons were on
Egyptian
their way.
like history.
We confirmed that they are the next
And
codex
that's
on the
the
way for
mummy
Warhammer
character
40,000, which is
in
very
The
cool.
Mummy with
So,
Brendan Fraser from
if you've
1999, the
got
best film
Tyranid
ever.
Codex or
And
the
if
Space
you
Marine
argue with
Codex,
me, I
which is kind of
will.
landing
I
people's
will not
hands at the
actually ban
moment,
you, but
you've got a sense of
it's the best
sort of
movie
things
ever,
it's gonna bring.
and I
So
can watch it
lots
always.
of
It's
new,
my favorite.
rules for your Necrons. There's loads of.
I am
crusade
actually
content in there as
really
well, so if
pumped
you're
to see
particularly enjoying the narrative.
Necrons are getting
of
their
Warhammer
codex
40,000,
next.
you
I'm
can
really
get into that.
hoping
But for everybody,
maybe
you've got
Death
lots of
Guard will
different
be soon
attachments
too.
to play with, and much like
Come
we've
on,
seen with the
GW, do
Tyranids
it
and
for
with the
me.
Space
If you
Marines,
make me
those
happy.
very much lean into a certain
But
type of
it may
play.
not be.
So you
I
can have
expect
your-
it might not be.
for like
for a while.
massive
But
phalanxes
it's cool
of
that we're
troops,
getting
which is the
Necrons.
same kind of way that you'd play using your current index. But you've also got things like Necron armies that lean heavily into using lots of canoptech stuff, or that use lots of teleporting around the battlefield, or use lots of things like flayed ones and destroyers and stuff like that. So if there's a particular type of Necron army that you like to play, there's probably a way to lean into that.
You know, I just realized something.
Stratagems here
Yeah,
as
so
well.
I was
this
looking
is
at
one of
the
legions,
cover
which is
art.
the Hypercrypt Legion. So Hypercrypt
Emotech is
Legion
on the
basically
cover,
specialise
is he
in
not? He
movement
had
play,
5 fingers.
moving around the battlefield.
Why does his
using,
model only have 4?
Eldritch technology to teleport units and reposition them and have.
I want
extra
I need them to
movement
show
like
me the
that. And this is
miniature
one of their
again now.
strategies,
I'm like
which is basically
convinced.
you can have a Necron unit out in the middle
I
of
am
the battlefield,
convinced
and once it's been targeted,
he has
for either combat or
misnumbered
shooting,
fingers then.
it can basically teleport itself away.
Or
you
maybe
can
I
use
looked
this.
at it
There's some
wrong.
really, like, if you're a good strategist, there's lots of very cunning ways you can use this. You can plonk them on an objective.
Oh,
or
I don't know if
push
you're
them
going to
very
get a
far
codex
forward, and then,
specifically for the Death
once your
Guard of
enemy's
Kree.
committed to
Like, that would be
firing with multiple units,
amazing,
you
but
can
I
kind of
think they
pull
would
them
be
out of
in an
position, and all
Imperial
of a
Guard
sudden,
codex
all the
rather
enemy
than a
units are,
singular codex by themselves.
kind of in the wrong place,
Yeah,
basically. So
cool.
this is a Necron, a type of way of playing Necrons that lends itself very much to people who like.
Oh,
to
a new
shenanigans
Trazen would be
around the battlefield,
great.
lots of different
That would be
unit movement
really
mechanics,
cool to
which
get a
is
new
nice.
Trazen. Aren't all of them, Oracan and
This might be
Trazen,
my
also
favorite way of playing
um,
Necrons as well, which is there's an
Resin
Annihilation
as well?
Legion,
Like that's
which is
that's
basically
probably the
you can.
the concern is they're all
Necrons have been
fine
asleep
casts.
for millions of years, and over that time, the circuitry inside them has started to kind of fray. They didn't have much of their souls left, basically, when they had the biotransference into Necrons. So lots of them have become basically a bit insane over the millions of years, and that manifests.
There's
in
nothing
various
wrong
different
with
ways. So some of
4.
them become
There's
destroyers,
definitely
which are like the
nothing
guys you can
wrong
see
with
on the
4. It
screen
was
there,
more just
where
I
they
kind of
replace
thought it
bits
was
of their
interesting that they
arms
would
and
have
legs
the
and things
art
with,
of him having
technology to make
5,
them better at
but then
killing.
they made
Some
the
of them that
sculpt
manifest
with
through things like
4.
the Flayer curse,
Like
which
that's
is
an
where they think that they
inconsistency
are
that I'm
living
not
creatures
used
and
to
try and,
from
like,
Games
take the
Workshop because
skin
normally
of,
they keep their
other
their
living
characters
creatures and
pretty
resin
on
and
model
drape
when they
themselves
do
in
art
that.
for them
And you can represent
because
a force
it's
that's basically
part of the
lost
design
itself to
bible
madness.
for
And one of
the
the things you can
product,
do is
and
give
that's
them
really more what it's
enhancements and
about.
upgrades, and this is
Don't
why
worry,
you can
Gavin.
give to your destroyer
Don't
lords,
worry.
basically to just
Okay.
make them even scarier than they already are.
Well, some
scary.
Krieg have come to plastic through Kill Team, so it wouldn't
Worth
surprise
saying
me
as
if we saw more of
the
them.
Stormlord is one of the new models that's on its way for the Necrons. It's not going to be the only one, but is the one we're showing today. So if you like your Necrons, they did pretty well out of the last edition of Warhammer 40,000. They got a lot of new
They did.
stuff, but they
They
haven't
did.
quite finished yet. so
Hello,
there's
Go
a few
For It
more things
Painting.
to
Welcome to the stream.
Okay, right, interesting. Not giving too symmetry there. I like that. Yeah, just a little.
Do you think that's all we're
That's good.
getting for
So,
for
shall we
40k?
move
Yeah,
on?
let's move
What
on.
have we got
See
coming
what
up next? Yeah.
Kill team? or Mechanicus. Are we also getting Are we getting Necrons paired with Mechanicus as a release? Ooh. Oh, I like the Sentinel. Interesting. He is so lanky. Okay, so we are getting Mechanicus and Necrons maybe simultaneously. Like, that might be the combo. That works really well for me. That really works very, very well for me.
There's a couple of weapon options here, Eddie. What are these that we've got?
Yeah, so this is a brand new
is
unit
that
for
what
the
it
Adeptus
is, John?
Mechanicus. We haven't seen
Awesome,
this guy
that's so
before.
cool. I didn't
He
notice that.
is
That's fantastic.
a,
Look at the stilt boy.
Mechanicus
Look at his
sniper, effectively.
ridiculously
So he,
long
fits in
legs.
with a lot of the aesthetic we've seen of lots of the other things.
I'm not gonna
Adeptus
lie,
Mechanicus army,
Mechanicus
which
players,
is
I
one
feel
of these
so
that
bad
really
for you
need
guys.
to use.
Sometimes you
probably don't wanna
have
go too close
so
to
many
the ground because it's
models
almost
with
certainly
like
radioactive. Also wants
small,
to get himself a nice view of the
spindly
battlefield.
little
so
like
cool.
antennas and
it's a
stuff
really
hanging off of
wild
them, and now they're giving you
wacky
really
it's very,
spindly
very-
legs.
It's very 40k, right?
Like-
It's really unusual. You can sort of imagine it kind of
Great.
ungainly wandering around.
It's
the
a
battlefield.
Mechanicus baby
But
character.
The way this
You're
guy
right.
works in lore is that he'll kind of find his spot and then he'll perch completely motionless. Right?
Once
Where
you've
he's
chopped
kind of
your legs
ready
off,
to,
though.
to kind of pick out
Because
key
I'm
targets
pretty
and
sure
take
like
them out.
this person has had
And
their legs
there's a
cut
couple
off at the
of,
knees.
options in terms of how you want to kick
and
this
then
guy
put
out.
stilts
You
in
can
its
either give him
place.
an anti-character weapon. So
Oh, well, thank you,
your
Havin, for
traditional kind of
so
sniper
much
role
for
where
that.
can,
You were very
kick
much
him out with
appreciated,
a
and I
radiant
will let
Giselle,
Chaos
which
Cultist
will
know.
be familiar to
Thank you,
lots of,
thank you.
Adeptus Mechanicus
He
players.
does look like a pain in the
You
butt
can
to
also
put
kick him
together.
out
I
with
don't
a,
disagree with that.
Transuranic Arquebus, which is anti-vehicle.
Very fragile.
gun as well,
It's
which is really
okay.
useful, kind of
It's
pipping off the
okay.
last couple of wounds
You can
of
put
enemy
this
vehicles,
guy
that sort of thing.
in that new
He's
Stormcast
in
carrying
game terms,
case
he's
torture
actually a
rack
really useful
device,
little character
and
'cause
he'll
he's
be
got the low
perfectly
knock
safe
ability,
and not
very
broken
similar
in
to
pieces
like a
in
Vindicator
minutes.
Assassin.
It'll be fine. I still
but
don't
for
understand
less points
the
than one of
whole
those, you can have a
idea
few
of
of
what
these
that
guys in
case
your army
is
kind of
supposed to be. It just
sniping around.
What were
the
you
back of the
thinking, Games
battlefield,
Workshop?
hitting characters, but also quite useful for kind of hopping onto objectives. In
The
your
stilts are
opponent's zone.
forever.
Very difficult for to kind of push him off unless you can get.
I'm
your
not gonna lie. I feel
to
like
take off.
if you just like I feel like a space
But yeah,
marine with
I
a
think
heated
really,
up
really
axe
fun,
could
very
just
characterful, very different sort of
them right
character.
out from
And
under
again,
him.
The Adeptus Mechanicus
just
is one of those
saying,
armies
I'm
that's actually
just
done
saying.
quite well out of the last few years of Warhammer 40,000 releases. So they've got a fairly extensive.
I
all
think.
plastic,
Oh my god! I
miniature
think you're
range as well,
right.
but this guy
I
has
do think his
a
tail
little
is an
something extra,
exhaust.
to give you some anti-character.
I do think
ability, which
he
is
might
something
have a
we didn't
tail and it
really
might be
have
an
in
exhaust because there is an
Dragon
exhaust pipe
previously.
like hanging down off of
So
one of his
it's
legs.
a
I
very
can't
cool
tell
model.
if it's attached to his
Absolutely, it
leg
comes
or
alongside
not.
the new Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. So this comes
I'm looking in
along
the
with
background to
Necron
see if we
book.
see anything like else.
Again,
do still
very
see
similar
the stilt
formats in the way
guys.
that the Space Marine and the
I
the
see
Tyranid
something
codexes
on
work,
like okay.
in that what you've got in here
I
is
don't-
loads of
is
crusade
my okay?
rules.
You guys
which,
can.
if you're the
I
Adeptus
think you.
Mechanicus,
I think you
usually
can
revolve
see.
around,
I think you can see my
acquiring,
cursor.
ancient tech
Okay,
and
so
kind of
here's
putting it
Stilt Boy
into,
right here.
getting hold
We
of
can
it to make
see
sure
him
nobody else
there.
can, and kind of
I
securing
don't
all the knowledge
recognize
they possibly can.
these.
But for everybody who plays, regardless of which way
Yeah,
you
those
play,
are old.
there
Oh,
are
they old?
brand new
Okay.
Yeah,
detachments,
you don't remember
and
the
much like
robots
we've seen
with the
other
treads and the
codexes,
shoulder mounts
he's
and
leaning
rocket
into a
launchers back in
specific
9th edition? We
way
watched
of
Tabletop
playing
Tactics,
your,
like
Adeptus
obliterate
Oh
people
my
with
god, yes!
So one
I
of them
do
is
remember
called,
those now. Sorry, I
the
didn't recognize them at
Hunter
first. Did you
cohort.
see
So this
Trace
is
or not
if you
Trace?
like
Did you
your
see the
Skitarii
Necron Lord?
troops, which
No,
are
I was
your
baiting.
cyborg
I got you.
warriors,
There's
basically.
I'll
there
see it later.
Part human
Emotech.
with their legs
Cool.
and arms
Yeah, they got a new one for him. It's really cool. Everybody has been very appreciative, by the way, of the fact that you got the stream back up for me. So thank you very, very much. Like, just he's amazing. He is the most amazing tech priest I have, and he's my
a
like.
good way to keep
He's
your,
just the best,
infantry
and I
alive,
love him.
range and kind of compete with the other kind of big
I know he
infantry,
left with a
of the
groan,
game.
but you know what?
But
I
there's loads of other
appreciate
ways to
him.
play them
Thank
as
you
well.
guys
So
so much.
You've got things like you can lean very heavily into the kind of tech priest aspect.
He
and have
lives.
lots
Yes,
of,
he lives. He took a shower.
things that are kind of part of the cult.
We're good
Mechanicus.
now.
You can lean very heavily into having a cybernetica cohort, which means all your Castellan robots and things like that, all your robotic units. Also,
I'm
benefit
actually
from
very
lots of
excited
army
for the
special rules.
Mechanicus
So,
stuff. It's an
in
army
that
that
way,
I've
we've seen lots of the
never
other
actually
detachments.
collected
If
much
there's a
of.
thing about your army you
But one of
particularly like,
one of the
it's probably a
few
way to lean into
Warhammer
that and
40k
kind of,
books that I've
extrapolate
read,
that into theme
that
for your
isn't like
force,
specifically
which is good
Horus
fun because
Heresy
the
era
Mechanicus got lots of very fun kind of weird,
lore,
unique, different
is
different army types, and
Yeah.
you can have some
is
wildly
Mechanica.
different looking army types.
Mechanicum.
If you go all
Yes, that was the
infantry,
title.
very
I always
different
want to call it
forces. If you go
Mechanicus,
lots of
but it was
robots or lots of
Mechanicum,
tanks and stuff.
and I actually really,
I love that.
really loved it.
Yeah,
Skitarii
it's
were
a really
endeared
fun
to
model.
me.
It's a really fun model.
It looks like me.
Yes,
I
yes,
think,
it is his exhaust, across, and it is a tail, and
it's
it
probably fair to
hangs
say
down.
this
That is
one,
delightful.
Is a little bit Marmite for some
Yeah,
people. We've seen it. So
That's
some
so
people have
cute.
definitely seen it and gone.
But yeah, I
"This is
read
really weird."
Mechanicus,
and then that
and I
kind of either turns into,
absolutely
I love it,
like
I like
love
that
what
it's
this.
even
quite
is that?
divisive.
It was so
it's,
good.
if you like the kind of absolutely
He is
wacky
Daddy
Blanchest
Longlegs.
Chew
Hello,
style,
Mercarian. Welcome,
for
welcome,
the
welcome.
Adeptus Mechanicus, you can see this
I
guy
am awake. It is
walking
super
out the
early.
pages of
It
like
is
a
super early, but
early
we're awake
90s
and we're looking at some
40K
cool
black and white
40K
art style
reveals
sort of thing.
so far.
It's really
Just to catch
wild.
everybody
Really
up who
wild.
might be
I like
joining
it.
us
That's
fresh,
and you can have
we
a
have
few of them
gotten
in
a
your army
little
as
bit of
well,
a
so if you
reveal
want to
for
have
the
2 or 3,
Necrons.
you
We got a
can,
new Emotech
be very kind of
model. He
make
looks
it a very scary
fantastic. He's
battlefield
no
for your
longer
characters
resin,
wandering
thank
around.
goodness.
Yeah.
And then we also just
There we
got
go.
a
Yeah,
reveal
stuff.
of a
Well,
new
Well,
Mechanicus,
we're not even close to that.
Adeptus
Should we close?
Mechanicus
Should we crack
model
on?
Yeah,
with our
let's do
little
it, yeah.
spindly boy, and also the reveal. Demon. Oh, Age of Sigmar. We're jumping into Age of Sigmar now. We're done with 40K apparently. We're jumping into Age of Sigmar. I thought they were about to reveal Chaos Demons. What? What? Is it a Stormcast Eternal? Is that... That is the most badass! That is the most badass Stormcast Eternal model I've ever seen in my life.
Awesome.
Mostly because he looks like he's a chaplain.
Centerpiece miniature yet for the Stormcast Eternals.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I
mean,
love it.
Dragons have been part of Warhammer for
Also,
pretty
that's a
much
really,
since its
actually,
inception,
very cool looking
really.
dragon.
And I think that this is an
I-
absolutely phenomenal centerpiece kit. for the
Holy
Stormcast.
cow, I
It's a
love this
really,
model.
really
I want.
cool
I don't
kit.
even care. I don't even
There's
run
obviously-
Stormcast Eternal.
You're spoiled for choice with Stormcast in terms of
Or
things that
really
have
play Age of
forces
Sigmar,
you've got,
but this
Lord
is
Sentinels
up there
and
on
Star
one that I
Drakes,
might just get to
Stars of
paint
Primes and all sorts of
because
stuff, but there's something about this which I think is
it
one
looks
of the best
terrifying.
Stormcast. Actually,
And
one of the best
God,
Warhammer
I
images
love
think
the
I've ever
skull
made.
mask.
Absolutely awesome.
or
And
his
the
skull.
return
I don't know.
of
I
the
think it might
very
just
first
be his
Chaos
skull. I think that may
Yeah,
just
so,
be
I
his
mean,
face.
Let's talk about the character in the lore a bit before we kind of dive
Oh, yeah,
into
sure, yeah.
to the miniature. But the character in the lore, Ionis Cryptborn, you guys might be familiar with as the Lord Relictor, who was battled alongside Vandast Hammerhand in the very first Warhammer Age of Sigmar box set when the Stormcast kind of first arrived in the Realm of Fire to kind of battle for the Brimstone Peninsula. What he's been up to in the time
don't
since,
remember the
basically,
very
is
first
he's
box set
been
for Stormcast
searching
Eternal,
for a
so
cure
this is all
for
new to me.
The reforging of the Stormcast. The
They
more
really
get kind of
do.
battered and reforged.
They
the
really
more
do
kind
go
of
out for
lose
the
a little bit
AOS
of their
models.
self
I
and their
completely agree. I mean, they
identity
do
and their
actually
humanity
go
as they get
pretty
reforged.
hard on a lot of
And
the
he's been kind of wandering
larger,
through the
like,
realms, looking for a
40K
cure,
ones as well,
and
let's be
he hasn't
honest,
found
but
it, basically.
recently,
And as he was kind of searching for it,
Age of
he
Sigmar has
has
been getting
found,
some serious love when it comes
companion in
from the
shape of,
sculpting department.
This new dragon. So, Lewis, I think you did some reading on him. Do you want to tell us a bit about what this dragon is?
Oh yeah, so Ionis found this dragon, met up with him.
Untainted Lead
so
Syndrome,
he's,
I completely agree. Like, in
sort of,
regards
once
to
kept
what we
safe
got for
by the
40K,
Seraphon, but is now
two
sort of
models, I'm
prematurely
surprised. If
aged
we
after
don't get a
spending couple
gosh
of years too
darn
close to the deer,
humongous
basically. So,
miniature, like,
the Drake is sort of
extravaganza
looking for the location of
when
the
it comes to the
race's
old
underworld,
world, I
whilst
do think
after
I will be
their
very
era-spanning
disappointed with this
slumber.
preview.
So, but also wants to learn how to free it from
I'm
Nagash's
judging you
grip. So
entirely
the two
on
have
the
sort
old
of,
world reveal.
want
Games
to find
Workshop,
a
I
way
do
to
love
protect
his
the souls
face,
of their
though,
friends
so
together,
goddamn
sort of
much.
together to do that. So cool
God,
story.
he is so
This
cool.
guy's been living in the realm of
I
death,
actually
basically.
am
So
very.
even though he's
I'm
one
gonna
of
be
the
very
newer
curious to see if this
born
guy
dragons, because
specifically
we
is
know
used
that
his
the Drake race was
conversions
kind of almost
for
wiped
like
out, basically, and they
40K
were
Space
protected by the
Marines.
Seraphon because he's been going
Because
through the realm
I
of
mean,
death.
he kind of just
has
looks like a
aged kind of,
really,
in
really
that time,
badass
basically.
chaplain.
So you've got these
Like-
two very kind of macabre versions of their factions heroes. You've got the Stormcast, who's probably the most
so cool
gothic-looking Stormcast we've seen to date, right? So
Yeah,
we've seen a few Relictor-style characters before with a couple of skulls, but
Oh my
nobody's
god,
got
I
them
would too.
all
I would
in
love,
Yeah, this is real
gothic.
love
He's
to
gone all
be
in for skulls,
like
Skulls
right?
everywhere.
a
Very,
fly
very
on the
Halloween.
wall in the like
Yeah,
production
and then the
meetings and
dragon is
design
a much
meetings
more
for the
kind of
Games Workshop
wizened,
miniatures. Like that would be so cool. I
ancient-looking
also would love to be a
dragon
fly
than
on the
things
wall
like,
of their
some
production
of the
facility
Stormdrakes or
to
the
see
Star
like
Drakes
the
and things
machines
we've seen
producing
before.
all the plastic pieces because I just think that would be
but
fascinating to
really
watch.
awesome, centerpiece
Less
kit, and
interesting
really
in regards
cool
to like
evolution of a character
what
that we've seen.
we're getting in regards
start
to
of
like
Age of Sigmar.
listening
I think-
in
I
and
think
getting
this is
some
a
cool
phenomenal
information,
And
but
there's
like
just a
it
bit
just
of a
looked
reminder, guys,
badass.
for those of you who maybe weren't with us at the start of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, this was Ionis Cryptborn in his initial incarnation.
Ah,
in
okay.
that
I
first
do
Age of Sigmar
not
box set.
remember
So
this
he's got a
model
few
at
skulls.
all.
Yeah,
He's
cool.
got a couple of
Actually,
skulls, and
he's
is carrying around the
he looks
skeleton, I guess.
badass now.
But
I mean, he's cool here
yeah,
too, but like he
his
looks
journey
better
has kind of
now.
taken him from glorious golden hero all the way to walking.
I don't know if
avatar
it's a
of,
skull helm. I think
death,
that just
basically.
might be his skull.
And in kind of lore, what happens is he'll show up on the battlefield, and then any of those Stormcasts that have been reforged a few too many times.
Yeah, I have no
he
like I've
takes
never
away, and
seen
nobody's
this
quite
character
sure what
before,
happens
but
to
I
him
also
in
don't
the end. So he
follow
has
Age of
a
Sigmar's
fairly
lore very
grim
hard, so
task
And when I
much,
do, it's
after
not about the
failure of his
Stormcast Eternal
ability
for
to-
sure.
to solve
God,
the
he
curse.
looks amazing.
The first time you'll be able to get this guy, he comes in Cryptborn Stormwing, which is basically a box set with him and a couple of drakes. And one of the things you can do with Aeonis
Interesting,
Cryptborn
okay.
is
So
you
he's not
can
even being
use
sold
him
as a
in
solo character,
you can
he's
put him
coming
in
in as a
standard
unit.
Stormcast army, and absolutely you can use him in any Stormcast
Interesting.
army you like. But you can also use him as a specific army of renown, which is all Drake themed, basically all dragon themed.
Okay, so
you can
that's
have this guy
why.
in loads
It can
of
be used as an
Storm
army
Drakes,
of renown.
just
That's really
to kind
cool.
of-
It is a pretty epic
I mean,
glow up. I
it's a dragon
completely
army.
agree.
That sounds
whole
pretty cool.
dragon
It's,
army.
it looks great and it fights pretty hard as well. So what's not to love? Cool.
That is an awesome miniature. That was awesome.
I think that the next model though, that model's amazing, but
Oh,
I think
the
the next
next
one
one.
I actually prefer even to that one.
It
so
is great.
let's take a look.
Ooh. All right, what's the next one? Because what bug thing is this? Wood elf? Yeah, definitely wood elf. Oh, I like it. I actually like that a lot. Sorry, Sylvaneth.
That's
My
nice.
bad,
It's
not
good.
wood elf.
Sylvaneth's the
Sylvaneth.
first thought
That
of
is
Kurnoth,
really
so
cool looking.
Brand new hero for
I
Order for
love
Sylvaneth.
that
So what do we know
bug.
about Belthanos, Eddie?
I
So
know. I
Belfast
want
is
them
a
to
really
spin it. I want to
interesting
see its little
character,
what
both
is
in
the
terms of-
back
model is obviously
like? What is the butt of a
spectacular,
bug called? I can't remember now, but I want to see what it
the lore
looks
of this
like.
guy is really interesting 'cause
Oh
he
my
is the
gosh.
first Thorn of
Gorgeous
Thorn of
paint
Kurnoth.
job, by the way.
Kurnoth is the
Absolutely
elven
stunning paint
god
job
of
on
the
this
hunt.
thing.
Anybody who's familiar
I
with
love the
old
leaves.
lore of
They
Warhammer,
look so
Fantasy
delicate.
Battle will know that Kurnoth was
Because they actually
kind
look
of
like
had his
they're
avatar
individual,
in
not necessarily
Orion,
connected to
and
other
was
leaves
kind of generally
themselves.
worshipped by
That
the
is
elves
so
of
cool.
The Old World. In Warhammer Age of Sigmar, he is believed to be lost or slain.
Oh my god, that's
but
so
this guy,
badass.
Belthanos, is effectively keeping the dream alive, basically. So he has the horn of Kurnoth, and he kind of leads effectively the
Treasure
wider
Hollow,
hunt
you should
through the realms of
totally
light.
go wood elf for
And
this.
he is
I
leading
do
ahead
think,
of this
although if you want spiders, I
Kurnothi
think the
force,
goblins
effectively.
do that. I think
So
I think
much
you
like
need
we saw
green
with,
skins if you want spiders
with
specifically.
Ionis, you can use this guy either in a standard Sylvaneth army, or you can say, actually, I'm going to lean all the way into the concept of this guy's army of renown, and you can have a whole force of Kurnoth hunters and Kurnoth spite riders and revenants, and have a very fast, very different.
It is a
feeling
really pretty
Sylvaneth
model,
force.
isn't it?
The
And it
character himself
perfectly
in
goes
game
with these
terms
other
is
like
very
buggy
good, so
creatures.
he
That's
is
so
effectively
cool.
the avatar of Kurnoth in the mortal realms. So he hits very hard. He's very fast.
I also
You
love
don't quite get a sense of the
the
size of that
Sylvaneth
model there, but,
masks. I think they're really
the
cool.
rider
I
isn't
like
human
the
sized.
wood
He's
mask
slightly
look.
bigger than a Kurnoth hunter. So that beetle that he's on, this kind of firefly-looking creature, is a pretty big monster. So this guy can go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest kind of dragons and monsters and great heroes of the mortal realms and come out on top. But
I like that
particularly
his
at the head of
feet
a
are
wild hunt sort of
branches,
thing, he
and
can
they're actually
basically
like
smash through,
curling around
almost any kind of defensive line. He's a very, very
the
kind of strong character in
side
the game.
horn
So
of the
really
firefly
interesting
creature
addition
that
to
he's
Sylvaneth,
riding.
brings in an
And it
element
actually
that a lot of
wraps
fans will
around
be
it.
very
That's
keen
actually
to
pretty
see,
cool.
like
I like
more
the
of a
little
Kurnoth
touches
sort of
like that
feel.
when they do their sculpts to
A
really
very
make it
cool
look
new
like
monster,
no, he's
and a
gripping
very
this
different
bug
way of playing
with
the army as
these
well. So I
these
think it's a really
toes, these like
exciting, addition to the Sylvaneth.
root
really
toes
good
that he's
set piece
got.
as well, and like that looks like
Hold
it's gonna
on,
be
so that he's not
so much
actually
fun
falling
play
off to
with.
make it
It's
just feel that
beautiful.
much
It's
more
really,
legitimate.
really
It really
beautiful.
is,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it
there's
looks
the back.
a
Look at his
bit
little
of like a
butt.
firefly
It's
is the
so good.
closest.
Oh.
Obviously, it's a fantasy creature. It's
Oh,
not
I
based
can't
on
wait to
anything,
paint it.
but, it looks.
Oh, look
looks
at his
very
little
very
curled
similar
up
to
tongue.
real-world insects
Can
and
you
things.
see? Do you
can
see
paint
the
that
little?
whatever
Do you
colour
see
you
the
wanted.
little
I think
curled
that
up
red and
tongue
yellow
right
is very
there?
striking.
And that can't
His
even
like
grow spiders
proboscis
that
or
you
whatever. What
grow
is it? The thing
just
that like
deadly.
flies stick
It's
down
really
to like
good. Yeah,
eat
it's
or
really
whatever,
good
or
in
like
game.
butterflies
It's
do.
very
Oh my
fast,
god,
it's
so
very
cute.
killy. So you've got the guy in the back has got is effectively a Lord level Kurnoth hunter, and they're already quite good in a fight. So you can imagine his stats are going to be pretty scary.
Nice.
He's got himself a ward
Excellent,
save. He's
that's
got 14
great.
wounds. It moves 12, so it's a big threat.
Wow, okay.
The horn he's got allows units nearby to run and shoot. So what he does really for a Sylvaneth army is give you a very different way of approaching the game, because at the moment your Sylvaneth armies are quite relatively defensive, right? So you've got lots of things that zip around and take objectives, and it's a kind of standoffish sort of force. This guy throws that out the window and goes, I'm just going to charge you. I've got a big load of spites, and we're ready for a charge. We're very fast. We can get right up into your face very quickly, leading that kind of wild hunt across the realm. So it's a really fun way of approaching that army. And the Sylvaneth army looks great already, right?
Yeah,
so it's
beautiful.
a brilliant...
I completely understand that happen. I mean, miniatures are just essentially tiny
All right,
sculptures.
well,
I mean,
both of these new characters...
they have been for years, but...
are part
it's
of the ongoing
impressive
narrative
the
of Age of
fidelity
Sigmar,
that
so
you can get
if
on
we
some of
take
these
a look at the
designs
next
now.
video, and then we'll talk about what that means.
Ooh. Oh, okay, well, they're having problems. Or maybe we're just getting a really weird promo. So what I'm learning from Age of Sigmar is that they really like to put creatures on larger creatures. Because everybody gets a very large mount. Have you noticed? Dragons, or you're just a giant demon, I guess, but giant bugs, giant dragons, giant eels, giant sharks, giant winged creatures, giant manticores. Everybody's got a big old thing to sit on. All right, and then we've got another book reveal, The Long Hunt.
Super sneaky little teaser there for you as well that just popped in before the...
We'll get to it, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get to that bit. Just before Dawnbringers Book 3, The Long
Sneaky
Hunt.
little
So
teaser
this
to the
continues
Tilting
story
stuff.
of Dawnbringer Crusades as the forces of order clash with a vast, cornate host. So where are we up to in terms of sort of... the
Edgar, I'm
Dawnbringers
so
narrative?
glad to
Yeah, so
see
I'll
that
try
you're
not to
happy.
spoil too much.
I
Oh,
can't
yeah, of
wait
course,
for us
going
to
on.
actually
So
see
some
the
of you might
full
still be reading
reveal
it.
of them,
Fundamentally,
but we got to get through this
Dawnbringers
Age of
is about
Sigmar stuff
twin-tailed
first.
crusade of the of Age of Sigmar. You've got these
Tree
two
Chad and his giant
forces
bug,
that are kind
indeed,
of,
indeed,
moving
indeed.
out into the realm of fire and the realm of life, and they're coming up against all sorts of enemies and kind of trying to overcome them. Recently, they've just bumped into a vast marauding horde of Troggoths, led by the Troggoth king, and now they find themselves attacked in one realm by the forces of Khorne, which is the original nemesis, basically, of the Stormcast in the very first battles in the Age of Sigmar. And in the other realm, they're up against a marauding band of ogres, basically,
I do like the
gorgeous.
ogres, I'll
So
admit.
a lot of these
Out
are
of all of
using
the
rules from,
some of the Age of
putting
Sigmar,
into
like
Age of Sigmar, lots of the things we've seen pop up in
armies
Warhammer.
currently available, ogres are actually
So,
pretty
for
cool.
example, here's your Gorgia force. You can have, using a regiment, army of renown. You
Ooh,
can have
sorry,
an entire
excuse me,
force
it
of
is still
butchers and
early,
gorgers with the
and so
Maw Pit
I'm
at the centre
I'm
of your army.
technically still
And
waking
what
up.
this basically lets you do is, if you really like those new Gorgia miniatures, which, you know, why would you not, right?
Yes, Tim,
they're very
so
cool,
sorry
very,
about
very
that
different way of
first
playing,
stream.
ogres
I
as well.
completely
You
lost
can,
internet.
make an entire
Thankfully,
force around
my
these
partner,
kind
the
of
Chaos
ravenous,
Cultist, was brilliant.
cannibal,
I woke him up,
maniac, insane ogres, which are even scarier to
and
fight against than
sorry,
than
one
normal
of my
ogres
lights
are.
just went
And
off
of
if
course,
I
there will
plunged
also be
into
ways to
darkness.
use these guys in normal games
Let
of
me
Age of
just,
Sigmar.
plug
He's
it back
telling me
in.
I'm able to throw and kick things into that huge...
There we go.
You
All right,
absolutely
hello,
can, yeah.
I'm
If
back.
you've got a Maw Pit on the battlefield, and you've
had
got
to go
books
wake him
nearby,
up,
you
which I was
can,
really hoping to avoid.
throw
I tried to
enemy,
get the
throw
stream
models, basically,
without
enemy models into the pit.
needing his assistance so
The
that we
other
could
thing that's quite
sleep
fun
in
about the
since
Maw
it's such an
Pits in,
early
Age of Sigmar
morning
specifically is
stream, but that didn't happen
usually if
because
you've got a
Comcast
monster,
was like,
you can
screw
smash
you, we're going to
enemy,
make the internet break.
fortifications. You can
And
still do
thankfully,
that, but if you fail to
he
roll,
got it
roll
working for
against
me
the Maw
again,
Pit, it
and
fights back.
we're back!
So if you've got a
And now
dragon
we're
or something
watching the
trying to smash it,
Warhammer
roll
live stream. Thank
one or two
to
to
him
smash it.
so
It
very
does,
much
like, something
for
stupid
helping
like
me
3d6
get this
mortal
going,
wounds
because
to you,
like
so your dragon falls
I
over
wouldn't have
and
been
dies.
able to without it.
So it's
Yeah,
quite
no,
a risky
Michael, it's not
proposition
too bad
to
for
try
you.
and take it
2:30 in
out.
the afternoon.
So
Not
that's good
no,
fun.
it's
You've
fine.
got those in.
It's fine. I'm not jealous.
The book also
I'm not
has,
jealous at all.
Balthanos and
It's okay. I
Aeolus
know
and a few
sometimes you
other
guys
kind
get
of
really
cool
early
characters
ones whenever there's shit
that are
happening
taking
here
part
in the
as well.
US and it's
One of
happening
the
at
other
like
things that's
3 in the
very popular
afternoon
new
or
addition
something
to
ridiculous
Warcry,
like that, and so
that's
therefore you guys
on
are
pre-order at the moment,
super early in the morning,
is
so I
the
get it.
Flame Seekers.
This is just
So
my
the
punishment
Flame Seekers are effectively
for being in the
trainers
States.
of Magmadroths, basically.
Oh
So
my
there is an
god!
army of
And
renown
your
that moves
punishment
into that,
for me
where you
being
can
here is
have
to watch me
a whole
yawn.
force of Magmadroths and these Flame Keepers looking after
Oh,
their
it's good.
Kindledroths,
It's everything's good.
and they can move around the battlefield.
I'm
and
so
the way
glad
that
I got it
works is
sorted
that you
too.
can actually hop onto
He
these
helped so
great
much,
big magma
and I'm very
drops with
grateful.
your little
Thank you, Chaos
units of
Cultist.
fire slayers, and they can
The new
transport them around the
Necrons
battlefield.
look
So
amazing.
One of the
Emotep
weaknesses
looks...
of your fire slayer army.
I
is they're
full
very
of
good in
Emotep.
defense, very good at attack, but they're quite slow.
Wrong character.
You can
Emotep
counteract that by the
is...
fact you can hop
I
on the
think...
back of these magma
Did I
drops
say
and
it?
kind of
Now
transport
I'm
them around the
confused.
battlefield.
Now
It
I've
gives you
completely
just
forgotten
a
his
really
actual
fun new
name
way
because
of
I want to
actually
call him
doing the fire
Emotep,
slayer
which is
army.
the
And of
real
course, you'll also be able to
human
use them
character's
in
name.
normal
And
gameplay
he's not even a
Sigmar
character.
with
He's
the
an actual
normal-
human.
part of a normal
He
fire slayer
lived.
army. So
He was an
loads of good
architect,
stuff
from my
in this book.
understanding.
So,
And
one
a
of the
priest, I think. He
things
was like an
that
architect
you'll notice
priest.
about some of the Dawnbringer books
Regardless,
is they tend to lean into a
The
specific
Necrons
Grand
look
Alliance,
great.
so
I
we've got
still
lots of
think that the
destruction stuff in the last
the
one for
Mechanicus,
book
like
two.
little spindly
There's a lot of
boy,
stuff for
is an
Forces of
interesting
Order
design.
in
Like
this
they get
book,
some weird
and then going
designs out
forwards,
of the
you can
Mechanicus
expect
line,
similar
and I
things
do
for
enjoy
the
it
other
because
Grand
it's a little
Alliances.
experimental, and I
It's
like
great to see
that.
narrative expand
Although I do
into
feel bad for every
realms.
Mechanicus player because
Yeah,
I feel like their
and
army is
this
one of the
book
more
also gives a
fragile
chance
ones
to
out
kind of,
there, like Sylvaneth
for Ionis
for the Age of
Splitborn and,
Sigmar stuff,
Balthazar
and
to
then
do something cool as well. So, like, they don't
Mechanicus
just go,
for
"Here's a new
Warhammer.
character,
I feel like
isn't
are
that
up
nice?"
there in some of the more
You go,
fragile things
this
because
is-
they all
he
have
shows up and he has a
flowy
moment
things
to
coming
shine,
off of
basically.
them,
Yeah.
and or just
He's
very
gonna- looks like he's
thin
gonna face off against
rods
Wolfmonster
and
do some cool stuff
antennas
there.
and that kind of thing.
There you go.
My goodness.
Right, so
Are we actually going to get the reveal now for the
We
kill
did.
team
Section,
stuff that
but
everybody's
should we-
way
should we
more
have a look at
excited
the-
about?
Let's do it.
Let's show those scouts. Scouts, 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 scouts. Ooh, what's that behind him, though? Ooh. I like it. The Eldar. Striking scorpions! Classic striking scorpions! Oh my god! They actually look really cool! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I'm really excited for that. It's
Yes,
so
a new
nice to
season, a
see
new setting,
the
and two new teams.
the
It's much
aspect warriors
anticipated
all
next
coming out of
Ultimate
resin.
expansion, Kill Team
Yes.
Salvation. We've got two very cool new teams for this: the Striking
Scouts and
Space
Scorpions!
Space
Woo,
Marine
woo,
Scouts.
woo!
Tell us
So
more
good.
about
This
the
has
new
actually
teams,
been
Eddie.
my favorite reveal
Yeah,
so far.
So we
Look
knew
at
that Space Marine
them.
Scouts were on the way, so we can confirm this will be the first place you can get them. But probably, more
I
excitingly
think
for a
these
lot of
guys look
fans, especially
amazing.
People who are fans of the Eldari craft worlds, is a brand new plastic
Eldar
aspect,
players. Are you
released
happy?
For the first time in this box. and
I
we'll
think
get
I
that
am.
released later on separately
I
as well.
love
So
their swords
Striking
so
Scorpions
much.
Are an infiltrating elite combat
love
unit
the
of
slight
Eldari.
curve
They have trained
on the ends
in
of
their
them. It's
aspects
so good.
To be kind of silent killers. They'll sneak around, get
God,
up
they're
close,
beautiful. That green is
and then
gorgeous.
finish their enemies off at point blank range, either with those scorpion chainswords or with their manda blasters or with the pistols.
I do like the
very
scorpion
scary
chainswords a
up-close
lot.
unit.
Like I
That
really,
makes
really
them an
like
excellent
scorpion
kill team
chainswords.
because they are basically
I just like
already
chainswords in
experts at
general.
kind of special operations.
So I'm very excited to see
in this
this.
box, you get two squads of 5, which you can combine
Okay.
into one big unit of 10 to make your kill team, and you get all the options you would expect in there. So the
Sweet.
Exarch has got either Scorpion Claw, or you can give him a couple of chainsaws, or you can give him one great big.
We can
fighting
only hope.
blade,
Maybe
double-handed
we'll get
chainsaws
Korax
to
next.
carve stuff in half.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Lots of
Maybe we'll get
posability
lucky.
in this kit as well. So you've got lots of different arm options and head options. So if you're leaning into the Yunari aspect, particularly of your Eldari force, you can have lots of unhelmeted heads, but they still get their manda blasters and stuff. So they still obviously can fire and fight in up close. But generally speaking, there's not a vast amount of customizability in terms of options, because one of the things that defines the aspects is that they do all have kind of standardized weapons and equipment. But there's lots of things in terms of posability, in terms of how do I want them, the arms posed and the head posed and the direction and things. So there's lots of dynamism in the models you've got to play
I
with.
do
So,
appreciate
as you can
Games
see there, you
Workshop
can
trying to
all
put a
sorts
little
of
bit more
different
effort into them
different and unique
in regards
and
to
lots more
posing,
detail than
especially
had on,
in a
Striking
circumstance
Scorpion.
like this where the kit itself is limited.
Yeah, the Scout Squad. So
They do look
not
good.
gonna
Look
dwell
at
on
those
these guys
beautiful
for
scouts.
ages and ages, because we did see these already when we saw the Space Marine previews
Yep.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought we had
but
already
fundamentally, you've
seen
got a
these
squad of
scout
10
models.
Space Marine Scouts.
They do
and you've
still
got
look
all the kits,
fantastic,
right?
though,
So you've
don't
got
they?
bolt pistols and close combat weapons. You've got shotguns and bolt guns and heavy bolters and sniper
So many
rifles,
guns.
chainsaws,
A ton of
and,
options.
and everything, right? So
Yeah.
All
things
the
you want
options.
scouts
Do you
squad
want
to
your
have.
scouts to have all the options?
And in
Well,
this set, they've been painted up as Raven
got
guards
it.
because they look quite cool fighting against green guys. But you can paint them as whatever scout squad you want.
you can always
So
just pick
you
up the
could
kill
have them
team stuff so you can get
for
the
any
models for your
chapter,
Warhammer,
and they
like
fit
40k
quite happily
armies
into
too. Like,
24.
that's what
Every
I
Space
tend to
Marine
do.
chapter has got some scouts in it. But that's really cool. So if Rafa, you could jump back to the Scorpions for a second. One of the interesting things about the way that this team plays in Kill Team is that you can either go, I'm going to have my whole kill team as striking scorpions, in which case you just use what's in this box, and that is a complete kill team in its own right.
Okay.
If you want to, though, if you've got a wider Aeldari force, you can also add in some of the other plastic aspects. So if you've got
Oh, that's
some
cool.
Dire
So if you want to
Avengers
run
or
multiple
some
types of
Hound
aspect
Banshees,
warriors in your kill team, you
mix and
can. That's
match
pretty
those in
rad.
together. And basically what you do is you go, well, I'm going to choose an Exarch to lead my force, and that can be either
It
be an
really
Exarch
is a
for
beauty
the
of a kill team,
Scorpions,
isn't
as
it?
you get in the box,
Scouts and
or it could
striking
be a Dire Avenger
scorpions.
one or a Howling Banshee one, and then
So
you can
good.
add in extra operatives, basically up to, I think it's 9 you get. So you can have a few Striking Scorpions, a few Howling Banshees, and a few Dire Avengers. And there are bonuses for leaning fully into one aspect, and you can use some extra abilities and stuff and do it that way. And there's also some bonuses for kind of going mixed aspect and having a bit of everything. So it's a really cool, flexible kill team, and it gives you a really good sense of like how, like a microcosm of how the whole Eldar army plays, basically. Which is good fun. So it's a really
Trader
cool
Guard
addition.
are
It
so
plays
cool.
very
I
differently from a lot
completely
of the
understand
other,
that. I do
Aeldari
love
kill
Trader
teams,
Guard.
all of which previously have been. I'm going to have some kind of lance and then lots of dudes with shotty
Ooh,
swords. So
some
it's
more
not
new
that, it's a really different
terrain,
way to
maybe?
play.
super different,
Some of these look new.
The other thing you get in this box, alongside the Striking Scorpions and the Scouts, are a few extra pieces of terrain. So it's worth talking a little bit about how the Kill Team box is going to release. Up to this point, whenever you've bought one of the new season boxes, it's been a very big box. So you get lots of terrain, a big kill zone, lots of scenery, and 2 kill teams. And what we've heard basically is that people have got a lot of terrain now. So if you've been playing Kill Team since it came out,
You know
or even
what?
since
That
the
is a
last
good
edition,
point.
You've probably got 6 or 7 different kill zones at home. So you don't need more kill zones. So what we're going to do with this box is that the Striking Scorpions and the Scouts come with a very small amount of terrain, like what you've got on the screen there on the left, just to add a little bit of flavor.
So
to the
basically,
box set.
it sounds
But then the
like
kill zone itself
they're going
is
to
be
make
made available separately at launch.
scatter
So it's an
terrain
optional extra
become
rather than being a kind
like
of,
included in
you
box
must have
sets
this
for Kill
alongside
Team,
your
but the terrain
Scorpions.
itself
So
will
if
be
you
sold
do want
separately.
to add in a new kill zone to your
I
experience,
think I'm okay with
absolutely
that,
can.
actually. One of the
If
reasons
you'd
that
rather
I
just get
tend
the
to
new
not
teams,
pick
you
up a
can-
lot of the
you can
Kill
do that.
Team
Yeah.
big
And this
sets
is like a
modernly
water
is
world
because
make, like, it's
I
super
don't
different from
need
Into the Dark,
all that
like-
excessive terrain as much as I want
yeah,
it.
so the
I'm
last
like, I
season
can't
of Kill
justify
Team was Into the
storing it
Dark,
because I'm
which
not
was
going to get
obviously
around to
very
painting it or
claustrophobic,
assembling it
very
as quickly as
confined.
maybe I'd want to.
You
So
usually
I think I'm
didn't
okay
have
with
line
that.
of
I
sight
think
across the
I'm okay with
battlefield.
this
You usually
approach.
had to kind of move forward to get into position. This is really different, right? So this is.
Are
from
you
a lore
guys, like, for
perspective,
those
the
of you that are
Galley Dart,
avid
which was the
Kill Team
spaceship that they were all
players,
fighting on, has
are you
crashed into
excited
this
about
planet.
this change that
Planet
they're
is
doing, or would you have
effectively,
rather
covered
prefer they put the terrain
by
still in the
majority
big box set
oceans,
because you're
and
just
there's
like,
all
well,
these
if I'm
kind of
going to get
rings
it, I
across
might as well get it.
the landscape.
Hello,
And your
Diggs,
kill
welcome to
team
the
has
stream.
got to kind of navigate what is effectively a kind of science fiction oil rig kind of situation. So still plenty of places to hide, plenty of places for snipers to kind of snipe from, but a lot more kind of running and jumping between platforms.
Much
so
more open.
it gives you a very different sort of dynamic
Is
to
the
your games
grading
of Kill Team.
on the floor
Also
level,
worth
like,
saying,
is this
if
a
you're just,
mat?
if you want to collect terrain for either
Or
Kill Team or Warhammer
that's
or
just
Stealth,
like
these
made to
boxes
look
are
like this,
also
or
just
is that
really good
actually
way of getting hold of
physical?
them.
I think it's a
Loads of
mat.
scenery.
Do they sell that?
So you go. So all together. So there's your what your kind of battlefield looks like. Your kill zone.
Honestly, it's
with your
kind of really
scorpions.
hard to
The
read
board as well is double-sided
because
as
of
well,
the
so you
water
can,
texture that they did.
You've got a few different options.
And because
how you
it's
lay it out, and all the
so,
scenery is designed to kind of move relatively freely around the
because it's
battlefield
so
to,
graded,
create lots of
and
cool,
you end up getting
interesting
all those
dynamic
little
battles.
pockets of
I think the
dark
water is pretty deadly as well, so
recessed
you
area
don't wanna
because
go-
it's
you can kick people into the
looking
off the edges
below
that
and
sort of thing,
through
so it's
because
probably
it's
full
got
of
holes in it.
space piranhas
I
and all
actually
sorts of
find this
stuff.
really difficult
But
to
yeah, two
actually
really
see
cool
what the
teams,
hell
Striking
is
Scouts,
happening.
Obviously very anticipated. striking scorpions. I think we've almost every single time we've ever had a preview. Someone
I
in chat
don't
has asked
think
for
the
striking
cost is going to be
scorpions.
the
Yeah, they
same. That's
Yeah, they
my
are. Yeah, you're
my
gonna have to find it
assumption
out.
is that they're not
that's
leaving
cool.
the cost
There
the
you go. I'm
same,
sure
but
they'll
it's a
do
good point,
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. So really cool. Yes, goes without saying, both of those.
You're
can
happy
also be
about it
used
as
for
well
Warhammer
because you just want to buy the
40,000.
models. You know what? That's great.
So another step towards having all of those aspects available.
You know
in
what,
plastic.
Edgar? That makes sense. If
And
you're getting
then,
started, you
Space
may
Marine
want the
Scouts
terrain in the
have been
box.
redone in scale with things like your Black Templar Neophytes. So yeah, two great additions to Warhammer 40,000. and to Guild.
I think I'm with you. I think
well, we
I
did
also
promise
personally
some,
prefer
some
just
old
the scatter
world
terrain,
stuff
but
today.
I'm also
So,
coming in from
I
a
think
person
it's
who
probably
already
time to
has
have
a
a
bunch
look
of
at what we've
Warhammer
got
terrain to
for
be able
the
to
world that
use
was.
if I were to
So,
play the
Raph
game.
takes away.
Whereas if you're a new starter player, oh my god! Oh my god, they're perfect! I actually like them. Good, we have some normal looking peasanty dudes. Oh, look at the Pegasus! Oh my god! Let me see it. Yes! Yes! Yes!
I really hope they're
Yes!
in the child's bedroom beneath you.
Oh my god, it's
Damn.
perfect! And I love them!
It's 6:40 in the morning.
Is he doing Kings too, or are we just getting Bretonnians? I don't care.
Probably just Bretonnian.
I don't-
They're stretching that.
Taking a ride again. That is awesome. That is so cool. So
I
can you
love
tell us about some of these
them.
glorious
Look.
miniatures we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. So we knew that Bretonnia were going to be part of the Old World pretty much since the announcement of it. And what we're able to do today with you guys is show you basically the launch range for Bretonnia when it's going to come out. And we've got a few other bits of news about the Old World for you today. But we'll
Yay.
start off by just having a look at some of these incredible miniatures.
Please, show them to me in
Kingdom of
detail.
Bretonnia, Duke on a Royal Pegasus. Who would have guessed, right? The world's best kept secret. A new plastic Pegasus is on its way. And this is a really, really cool,
I love it.
new, very flexible kit. Basically allow you to put lots of to create lots of heroes on Pegasus for your army.
Okay, that's cool.
Pegasus
I like
is a
flexibility.
very, very useful thing to put a hero on because in Warhammer, the Old World, much like Warhammer Fantasy Battle, you want to have your general on a Pegasus or something that can fly because you've got lots of aura abilities. And also, you just want him to be charging stuff early on.
Absolutely, 100%.
So this is a really cool kit. You can make it in lots of different ways. This one is is a Duke. Generally speaking, in Bretonnian society, the bigger and cooler your helmet is, the more
That is a pretty
status
cool
you've
helmet.
got,
That's a lot of status,
and
right?
the
It's got
more
like
kind of blessed
a
by the
like a
lady
little
Super blessed.
you are.
woman
So
in
this
a
guy has
robe,
got
I think?
literally,
Church.
it's got a little church with a statue of the Lady of the Lake on his.
There you
on
go,
his hat.
see? I
And
knew
so
it
he's
was a
gotta
lady.
be way up there, right? So
Michael, I
this guy
completely
is,
agree. Please,
Duke
Games
of
Workshop,
Bretonnia,
just
and
here's all
his
my money.
heraldry, his kind of
This is really all
quarters
you've got me
black
hooked
and
on
red
right now.
with the axe,
So,
has
yes,
been applied across
please.
the entire
God, it's so-
range for the.
I love it.
The Old World army for Bretonnia.
I love the
So
ribbon
this
in the
is
tail.
guy who has
I
kind of
love
inspired that across
all
the
of the detail. I love like
Pegasus
everything
itself
that's
is
happening on the
beautiful
Pegasus
sculpt.
is so
Maybe just
good.
jump back for a second there, Raph, so we can kind of take in the whole
that is
spectre of it.
Yes, let me take
so
the whole
really, really dynamic,
gigantic
cool.
thing
You've
in
got
there.
some options
I wonder
on
how
the
big
horse
it
there,
actually
but
is. I need to see it compared
almost
to other
looks like
models
a kind of
again.
statue of a hero that you'd find in a town square or something, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
But kind of living and breathing and leading the charge of the Bretonnian forces. So really, really cool miniature, all plastic, and with loads of
As it
options.
should be.
This is one of the other ways you can build it. So you see a few different changes there. So it's a different head on the horse, different head on the character, different
That's
cloak, different sword,
awesome.
different shield. And this is a
I
baron.
actually
So a
love
baron
that
is
there are
like your
multiple
common or
heads
guard
for the
and
horses
hero for
as
Bretonnia.
well as the
Duke is
figures.
your kind of general
That's
or,
great.
prince or something like that, and the baron is kind of a step down. Still a very competent fighter. But you can see his hat's not as impressive. It
makes me so happy.
You know,
Slightly
doesn't-
less
Like, genuinely.
it's not quite as much.
But still a
status.
hat nonetheless.
He's still got a big hat. His horse isn't white either, so it's
Yes.
probably
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's probably a
Dan,
slightly
welcome,
cheaper
welcome,
Pegasus.
welcome. So glad you're able to
But
catch
yeah,
the
but
stream.
you can build it in lots of different ways. There's another way you can build it as well, which
Tim,
is
they
as
are
a battle
amazing. I
standard
didn't get to
bearer. So
experience the
battle
old
standards
world that
in
much when
Warhammer
I
Old
first
World,
got
much
into
like Warhammer
Warhammer,
Fantasy,
but it's one of the things that I've
super
regretted a
important to your
lot.
army,
And
particularly for
Bretonnians
Bretonnians,
are specifically
because
one of
they
the
give you your
armies
kind of
that I
rallying point
wanted
for
to
the
get
force, they
into.
give you some
The
bonuses
other
to
one
combat,
that I
and you
really
can put
wanted to get
magic pads
into
on them and all
was
sorts of
Tomb
stuff like that.
Kings, and that's
and this
also
is
coming back in the
allowing
old
you to
world, so I'm
put, a
very,
battle
very
standard
hyped
on
for
a
that.
Pegasus. which is
it's
one of the
so
best places for it,
beautiful.
actually, because you can put it,
Absolutely, yeah.
you can get it where you
Really show it off
You
then
get it where
as
you
well.
want it to go to. Not quite sure
I
how you
love
fly with
the
a
banner.
standard. It's
That's
probably
fantastic.
magic, so don't worry too
Easily
much about
done,
it.
yeah.
Easy peasy.
We've all been there.
But yeah, a really cool miniature. Really flexible. I think
I know, Raul. I'm
almost
the same
guaranteed to
way.
see
Like,
some of
it's just there's so
these,
many things that I want to
in
get,
Golden Demon
but
and
not
painting
enough
competitions and
money
things like that,
for
'cause
it
the model
all.
is phenomenal.
It's okay. That's why I'm
Really good.
focusing on Old World. That's why I'm just gonna focus on the
Not
Old
every
World.
knight is rich enough to afford a Pegasus.
That's right. Not every knight can afford a Pegasus or even a horse.
Yeah.
So,
But they
one of
can
the
sometimes
things,
afford
that
very
we have
tall hats.
Been kind of talked about in the lore of Bretonnia for a very long time, but never manifested.
I love
as
seeing them
a
all. I
miniature
love.
unit
Okay,
until this
so
point, is Knights of
classic
the
Old
Realm on
World.
foot. So
Bretonnians
Knights of
always
the
had
Realm
ridiculous
is
helmets with a bunch of
is the
different
most
animals
common
on
type of
them
Knight of
or other
Bretonnia. It
symbols
means that somebody
because
who's gone on
representing their
errantry
individual
quest,
houses
they've
and stuff,
achieved
right?
a knightly deed
Look
of
at the
some sort,
plethora
slaying
of
a
options
small
here
monster
to do
or
the same
protecting a town
thing.
or
Like, they
rescuing a
do
damsel,
repeat
something
them a
like
little
that.
bit. It looks like we've
And
got
you
two
become a Knight of the
fleur-de-lis.
Realm,
It looks like
which
we've got
means you've
two,
probably
like,
got a little
horned
castle or a keep
bullheads.
somewhere in Bretonnia, and you
But I'm
are,
seeing a boar with a
honor-bound to
sword
protect
through
the
it.
peasants
Classic.
around it,
We
and
have
if
a
your king
couple
or
of,
your
like,
duke or your baron
church
calls
looks
you
on
must
people's
go to
heads.
fight on,
We've got
crusading,
a
so to speak.
Pegasus,
So
or sorry, a
Knights of the Realm,
unicorn rather, a
many of them,
dragon.
have horses, but not everyone. Will
See,
be rich
there's
enough
the
to
boar
afford a
here
horse,
with the
or
sword.
perhaps their horse has
There's
been slain and they
a
want
like
to continue
winged,
on
maybe a
fighting.
Pegasus, maybe a
So
griffin
Knights of the
behind
Realm on
here.
foot is a brand new
Fleur-de-lis,
with a
a
couple of options.
sun,
You can either give them
just
these great
a
two-handed,
fleur-de-lis with a sun behind it, a
poleaxes,
dragon,
or you can
bullhead,
give them sword and
bullhead,
shield.
church.
This is a really flexible
That
kit.
one just has a
All of the
woman
heads
on
are
his head.
separate, lots of the arms are separate. You've got loads of different opportunities to kind of make these models your own.
Both of these men just have
and
women on their heads.
You can see the
I'm all about
story
that.
kind of told in each one of these characters
I
because
love those details. On
yeah,
them,
as a Knight of Bretonnia, whatever your whatever your errantry quest was, which is when you
They're
go off and
so
say, I'm going to be a
beautiful.
knight.
Like, they're just so beautiful.
You got to be royal or kind of noble.
I'm literally drooling a little bit. Oh my god, it's so good. I love
your heraldry is.
I love this.
depicted
I
by whatever
love
your-
the
whatever it was you
entire
achieved.
like
So
standard
if you slayed
that
a
he's
particular
holding
monster,
there.
maybe
Also
that
the
manifests,
winged
or if you
helmet.
rescued
God, I can't wait to
something or
paint
protected
these.
something or
I
worked
can't wait to
alongside
paint
a
these.
crusade or something
I
like
had
that,
so much fun the last
manifested
time I
through your
worked
heraldry.
on
And
some
all of these
knights
different
for
head
Bretonnians.
dresses
I do
and
have
trinkets
so
and things like that can tell a bit
during
of the story
COVID,
of your,
actually,
your
I
knightly
bought a
house.
classic starter
And then,
set for the
there's
Bretonnians that
lots
was
of other
near
lovely
complete.
details on there as well. So this
And
is the standard
I
and the
built
champion for that unit.
and
The
painted
standard
one of
again
those
has got
knights.
that
I'm
Lady of the
busting
Lake,
those
who's
bad
the
boys back
recurring
out when
deity
this
of,
game releases because I
the
want to
Bretonnian
do
forces,
comparisons
kind
and
of
like
a lovely
just
little
paint
shrine
all
there
of
with lots
them
little keys. So
and maybe use the older ones as
storytelling through these
practice and then do
messages
the
is
new
top
ones.
notch.
I don't know, but I'm so excited.
Really lovely.
They're gonna be so
really
cool.
flexible kit as well, so you get quite a few spare bits. So if you've got some of the other Bretonnian plastics, so we'll have a look at some of those in a little bit. Which ones
I'm
are coming
excited.
back alongside
I'm excited
these.
for spare bits.
But if you've got some plastic Knights of the Realm and you want to kind of mix in some of the new helmets and things like that, you've got loads of spare.
That would be really
arms and
cool.
helmets and
Actually, I
shields
could
and
do
things like
that.
so you can really customize the rest of your force. We're going to go through some of the plastics that are returning and show you some of those.
They
So
just
Knights
keep
of the Realm,
doing different things with the
very-
helmets,
the
and it's
most common
great.
Unit, the kind of the archetypal unit for Bretonnia. This is a returning plastic kit. This is the kit kind of out the box, as it were, but you can mix and match this with your foot knights as well if you wanted to. So they're on their way back too in lance formation.
So a
obviously.
returning plastic
Pegasus
kit, so not
Knights,
even
they're on
brand
their way back
new.
as
That
well.
was an
So
old
you've got
kit.
some brand new Pegasus characters which you can build up in loads of different ways, and you can put some Pegasus Knights alongside them too. These are kind of, as you'd expect, enormous flying heavy cavalry that can smash straight through enemy skirmishes.
I like
and things
them.
that. Harry enemy flanks, that sort of thing. And then at the other end of the spectrum of nobility, we've seen
Do
things
you
like the lords
see
and their,
this
mighty knights.
Bannerman's
You've got the peasants and the men-at-arms. So
amazing
these are,
orange
the lowest of the
moustache
low
that
in
just
Bretonnian
goes
society, really. They
straight
are
out.
The
Just
farmhands and,
straight
and
out
troops that
the
look after
wax
castles.
that this man must have
They
put
are
in
not
that
of noble
moustache.
birth, but the knights
Does
very
that
generously
have
provide
frogs
them
on
with,
his drum?
some level of training.
He's
and
got
they've kind of
frogs
hand-me-down
on his
spears and shields
drumsticks.
and things like that. So this is a
I don't know what they're
returning kit
called.
for,
I don't know what the things
Bretonnia,
that you
but
hit a drum
this
with are
is
called.
kind of-
Why are
seen
there
the game,
frogs
it's
on
really
it?
cool.
Yeah.
Why?
And then peasant bowmen as well. So these are
They're so
again
good.
peasants,
Oh.
fairly well trained actually. Like lots of
They
peasants
have
in Bretonnia
terrible teeth.
Need to look after
They're
their
peasants.
farms.
They don't
steads,
brush
and
their teeth.
homelands
That
and
makes
things like
sense.
So many of them.
Good
practice with a
lord, look at
longbow.
them.
Actually, fairly competent ranged unit. if you are a Knight of Bretonnia, it is against
Also,
your knightly code.
can we just
to
all
use
appreciate the
weapons of any
beauty
sort, so you're
of the
not allowed to
rectangular and
have,
square bases?
A crossbow or a longbow.
They're
or
gorgeous,
anything like that.
and I've missed
so
them.
they rely on the peasants to give them a
where the
little bit of
bowmen
help.
come in,
Not that they would ever admit that they need help.
No.
as a Knight of
Oh, they
Bretonnia,
would look really
but
cool
sometimes,
painted
you
up
know,
as
they bring the peasants along
Baratheons
just to-
for
to-
Age of Sigmar,
to
or
see
for
the world around.
sorry,
the,
A Song of Ice and
frogs
Fire.
there as well.
That would be very.
Oh, yeah, but we're gonna jump
Oh,
back for a second. So
There's frogs on
I
there.
don't. Yes, I know. I've talked about the frogs, guys. I've talked about the frogs. You're behind. You're behind.
There is
Games
a
Workshop.
recurring motif for the peasant command groups where they have a couple of frogs on sticks, which
Yeah.
they use to bang the drums.
That is great.
There is traditionally the wizards of Bretonnia, the damsels, occasionally turn their enemies into frogs. So my theory is that those frogs may be the people within the
I accept
who
this
have
theory.
angered
of
the
his.
Bretonnian damsel of the army in some way,
become a
shape, or form,
drumstick.
and been turned into a frog. Yeah, it's a pretty grim. Turning into a frog is bad enough, and then being turned into a
then-
drumstick is a
yeah,
pretty.
is worse.
I can't imagine you last very long
Absolutely
as a frog
not.
drumstick.
No,
but
no way.
there we go. With the field trebuchet for Bretonnia
Look at
is
the field
returning as
trebuchet!
well. So this is originally
Interesting,
was a metal kit.
formation
If you ever
of
had
the-
the joy of building this as a metal kit, you'll know it was not the most fun to build as a metal kit.
Of the
It's been
pieces for this,
retooled
like of the
and reworked
bases.
in Forge World resin. So this is going to be really lovely detail, much easier to put together than the metal version of the past, but a really great returning kit. Alongside this, you'll also see
Did they say it was
lots
Forge
of
World resin?
returning metal kits, and for some of the other armies as well, some other things have been kind of retooled into Forge World resin as well. So there's some great returning units, as well as some really cool new plastics and some new resins for some of the different armies as well. So speaking of new resins,
No,
here are some
why
of
are
the
they
resins
all
that we already
resin?
know are on their way for Bretonnia. So we've got Damsel on a Unicorn at the centre there. We've got a couple of Battle Standard Bearers, and we've got a Questing Paladin on foot.
I'm not gonna
We have
lie.
a new resin model to show you as well. So this is the Handmaiden of the Lady.
I'm
This is
disappointed.
your wizard, basically, for Bretonnian
I will be
forces. In Bretonnia,
slightly less
men aren't allowed to
disappointed
practice
if I don't
sorcery,
have to actually
for
order
the most
these
part.
through Forge
But
World.
what happens
And I can
is
just
that
buy
every
them
now and
at a
again,
Games Workshop store.
Daughters of Nobility will go missing.
Because if I have to
and
buy
then
my
they'll
Old
turn
World
up
stuff
kind
through
of
Forge World, I'm
abducted
gonna be
into tonight by
pissed.
fey creatures.
Like-
and then they will return as handmaidens of the lady with unnatural
Why do
powers.
they-
Nobody's
why
quite
must they
sure what
scorn
their
me
power
like
comes
this?
from,
Okay.
or what the nature of the entities that grant them it is, but they do seem to have the blessing of the
fine.
Lady of the Lake, so nobody
It's
asks
fine.
too
I'm just
many
going to be
questions.
excited about
In case they
Bretonnians
get
coming
turned
back. I
into
don't
frogs.
care.
So they're
I
going
am
to give you
disappointed though.
your,
I will admit I'm a little
your
disappointed to
magic
hear so much of this is going to be
effectively for
resin,
Bretonnia.
and that I might have to
And
order
what
it from Forge
does
World.
is it gives you a
'Cause I
really
don't
nice
want
kind
to.
of triple style for the Bretonnian force. So you've got the very glorious knights in their very shining armor and gold and silver and
Yeah, I
very,
also
noble.
really
And then
like.
you've got the peasants who have got.
God
kind
damn
of
it! I thought the
hand-me-down
whole point of
shields
this
and,
was to put everything in
poleaxes and
plastic
kind
Games
of,
Workshop.
walking through
Like,
the mud
I
every
thought
day.
the whole
And
point
then
was
you've
to
got the
release
handmaidens
this
of the
all
lady,
in
which
just
have a very
glorious
different aesthetic
plastic,
altogether, and they're very
available in
pristine,
your
pure,
normal stores,
made manifest sort of thing.
It's great.
and available
But
for
a really
like
cool,
okay.
really cool new army.
Yeah.
And that
The thing that actually
is pretty much what you're getting out of the gate for Bretonnia. There's a few other returning kits as well that will come a little bit later on, but that is
I'm excited to see what the additional returning kits are.
When
But,
Warhammer
like-
the Old World comes out. We can confirm today that Warhammer the Old World will be one of the first releases for 2020.
Sorry, I don't know what it's
So
like.
it's not going to be this year. But you won't have
disconnecting
to wait
there.
very long at all into the new year before you can get your hands on
No,
it. So
I
it's
d-
not too long to wait.
I mean,
and then before the
I
year
guess
is
I
out,
shouldn't
we'll
have trusted
more
GW.
information
You're
for you
right,
on
you're
one of
right,
the
you're
other,
right.
big
But, like-
factions that's going to be launching.
Amazing. Exciting stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
I
good
thought the
times.
point
lovely times.
was to get
That's
it
what
to
we've-
make
you know,
it
I think
easier for
that's-
people to
we've
get their
covered it.
hands on.
We've done it. We've
That
done
is-
it
that's
all.
what we got, yeah.
That's it. That's all we've
Okay,
got. That's all we've
so-
got time for. So,
Are you
what
guys
was
going to
your
actually
favourite?
have another reveal,
What was your
or are you
favourite out of all?
I mean,
flapping
it's-
around
it's
for no
all
reason?
very cool. So I am really excited about Bretonnia because
Yes,
that was one of
me
the.
too.
I started with the Warhammer Fantasy Battle Box, which was the Bretonnians versus the Lizardmen. That was the first thing I ever got for
Yeah.
Warhammer. I've got like a special place in my heart for Bretonnians. But I am doing an Eldari.
I am a little
I
bit
do
surprised
really
that they're
like
not
those
doing
Scorpions.
Lizardmen.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. They have
I like
Lizardmen
those
for
a lot. I like those a lot. And I
yeah.
think
for
there's-
Age of
it's been a
Sigmar, so they're
very
not
long
going to
wait
redo that.
for plastic
Okay, so the thing that
Scorpion.
actually really
So I'm
irritates me, I'm
very
going to
keen
turn them
to
down a
get
little bit because they're
painted up
they're
and-
just talking
and
about
the chance to use
what
beetles
they're
as
most
well.
excited about from these reveals, and I don't think that's quite as important about me talking about how
As a kill team, and then they're gonna
my
infiltrate
actual
the
irritation
Eldar army as well.
with
How about yourself,
the
Lewis?
old world stuff being resin
This quick ball, I've just got a
is predominantly one
picture in the best
major
possible
issue.
skulls. It's just super
I used to
fast.
work at a game store, a friendly local game store that was not a Games Workshop store. It was just a independently owned game store.
We hope you enjoyed,
When
the
Games
reveal,
Workshop
guys.
has
That
game
is
stores purchase
for
products
today. A
from
couple of things
Forge
to
World,
remind you of
they
before we
do
finish.
not get
So,
their
it is
retailer,
Warhammer Day
like
this weekend kicking
it's
off,
just,
and
it's
there is a
difficult.
brand new
It's just
exclusive
incredibly
Warhammer Day,
difficult for a
commemorative edition,
retail
which is
store to get
limited
Forge World
to
products to
hand
then be able to
characters.
resell to
So
their
pick that up from
customers.
gamesworkshop.com
But
or
they
from
also
Forge
insist
World
on you going to these
Games
stores
Workshop
to
or,
pick
Hobby
up
Store.
whatever it is that you want to be able to get. Like, go to them, you don't see what you don't see the Games Workshop thing that you want in this store, have them order it for you. Well, if they're ordering from Forge World, they're going to not actually get a good profit margin on that, and or they'll have to hike up the price for the customer. Like, that's kind of, unfortunately, like, just how, in my opinion, Forge World prices are just bad for retailers from what I remember. Maybe they're better now. Maybe I'm misremembering this. But I just remember it being a pain in the ass to get stuff from Forge World. And the same thing with ordering from anything that was web store only. Like, web store only stuff is also incredibly difficult for, like, retailers to purchase and then be able to sell to their customers. And if they make it so all of this old world stuff is resin and therefore purchased through Forge World, that I think is going to hurt the community that might be in local game stores wanting to play and get old world games set up and everything. And I don't know, that bothers me. I just feel like it's not consumer friendly to separate your products into these two separate places when you're like, it's one thing personally. Like, it is one thing. Hold on. Let me just get, like, Warhammer community up. There you are. Okay, it is one thing to, like, have an entire game system exclusively sold through Forge World, a la Horus Heresy prior to it coming to plastic, right? That, I think, is reasonable. You have the entire system sold on this one site. It bothers me immensely that they are splitting game systems products across two separate websites that they both own, that Games Workshop as a whole just owns. Make it one place. Don't make me have to go around to a bunch of different stores in order to purchase this one game. That is my major concern. Now, if they solve this problem by just being like, it's Forge World resin, but we're selling it on our normal web store, and you don't have to have, like, you don't have to go to Forge World to buy it, and friendly local game stores that are not GW stores can order them like normal and stock them like normal at the normal kind of shitty margin, but at least better than what Forge World's margin is, then I'll be okay with it. But that is not what I think is actually going to happen. I think they're going to split it, and I think they're going to make you go to two websites, and I think they're going to make it really difficult to get their hands on. And I do not understand why. I also don't understand why some of these models are even resin to begin with. Like that woman that they showed on, let's see, do they have the woman in this picture? Yes. Why the fuck is this character in resin and not plastic? What about her demands resin for this sculpt? She's not excessively detailed in a way that I have not seen them do in plastic before. So, like, what? I just don't get it. I don't understand the mix of resin and plastic. I don't understand the mix of one thing being GW, one thing being Forge World. I don't get it. Like, other than that, like, honestly, this reveal was really cool. Like, the 40k stuff, a little bit lackluster, because we just got two models that we were shown off, and then we got a reveal of the fact that we're getting our Necron and Mechanicus codexes next, which, I mean, is very cool, but a little bit lackluster. Age of Sigmar, I think, got some neat stuff. Definitely got some really cool, impressive characters. And again, why are they resin when this bad boy is gonna be in plastic? What? I don't get it. When the Dragon Boy is gonna be in plastic, like why, Games Workshop? But otherwise, I'm super pumped to see all of these Bretonnian models. The Kill Team stuff was really exciting too. We got Striking Scorpions, of course. We got like, yeah, we just got the scouts. That's the thing. We already seen the scouts, but we did get to look at them again and drool over them a little bit more. And so I'm mixed feelings on this, because on one hand, I love what we got to see. I'm just disappointed with the materials and locations of where they're being sold. And that's a weird place to be left on. Yeah, this, is it cheaper? Is resin cheaper? Is that maybe what it is? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't feel like it is, because I feel like they always charge you extraordinary amounts for the resin models anyways. Like, I don't think they're sold any less cheaply than the plastic ones. So I don't know if I'm not sure if that's correct. But regardless, I think this was really cool. Before we head out, what were you guys most excited about? Were you excited for the Kill Team stuff? Were you excited for the Old World reveals? Are you just pumped to get Mechanicus and Necron codexes coming soon, because maybe you're those players? Were you excited for the Striking Scorpions and the Scouts? Do let me know in chat, and then also if you're watching this video on demand after it's already ended, then do let me know in chat, in comments. There we go. In the comments, what your favorite reveal was. Do you agree with me about the whole Forge World Bretonnian resin nonsense thing, or are you in disagreement with it? Let's have a discussion down in the comments, and I think I am going to go ahead and head out for now. This was a little bit of a wild stream. We got started with one stream, we had to then end that stream because I lost internet, and we came back with this stream entirely thanks to the Chaos Cultist. So once again, I do just want to shout him out for just getting this started and able to work for me, because I tried to let him sleep in and then I had to go wake him up. So just, I am very, very tired. And also completely riled up now, because oh my god, I have so many feels about the Old World. I love the Stormcast Boy too. Bane, that was great. That was absolutely great. Michael agreed that the Age of Sigmar dragons were really cool. And again, plastic, beautiful, beautiful, sweet, delicious plastic. Easy to paint, easy to assemble. Don't have to use really crappy plastic like Zap-A-Gap glue, or like just normal super glue. That was the word. I couldn't think of the word super at all. Like, I was like, what kind of glue is it? What? Craft glue isn't the right word. Super glue. God, I hate super glue so much. That's why I like the extra thin plumbing of cement, because it works on plastic and it's so much easier to use than I have a brush tip applicator. Games Workshop, I just want to use my brush tip applicator on all of your models, please. Please. That's all I want. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna end this, because I'm just gonna keep ranting about how upset I am about the resin. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really hope that you enjoyed watching along with this reveal with me. We got some cool stuff. We got to look at some really, really cool things. The Bretonnians by far were my favorites. Yeah, I'm going to go and probably get some breakfast and prep to go to the Ren Fair later, because I've got a really busy day. We started early with this live stream, and I'm now going to head out to an amazing Ren Fair, and I hope Chaos Cultist and I have an absolute blast. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.